Joey Star here for Star Quality Kitchen. It's that time again. That time to try something different and experimental and in the vein of one of my favorite foods, which is ramen noodles. We've had junky ramen noodles. We've had hot ramen noodles. We've had cleaner, more responsible, healthier ramen noodles. Noodles made from konjac root. We've had noodles made from tofu. And now we're going to try ramen made from Black Bean Noodles. So there's a company out there dedicated to making these healthier noodles based on the traditions that the owner has from growing up. The company is called Kaleidoscope, but stylistically spell it KLDSCP. This is a company that's woman-owned, and at least this box of the Black Bean Noodles is gluten-free, it's organic, it's halal, it's vegan, it's keto-friendly, it's high protein, high fiber, low net carbs, and according to the instructions on here, it takes 3 minutes to put together. And the flavor that I picked up is the Tingly Chili. I mean, if you're looking at the website and the pictures and stuff, it looks really good. It looks really legit. Looks like it could be safety. Supposedly, they're very high rated. So let's try it out. I'm going to open the box. See? Get a little unboxing going here. And okay, this is interesting. So it comes with a bunch of these pouches, see-through pouches. It looks like some very dark black noodles. Cool. So interesting. The noodles come in one pouch, and then they have these individual sauce packets. Looks like some kind of oil. What seems to be a really small amount of ramen here. Once you actually cooked it for the 3 minutes in your water, it does expand a little bit. So there's that at least, because I was worried I was going to have to eat like the entire 6-pack in order to feel like I ate something. And so it's interesting. It's it's definitely a different kind of noodle, right? When I brought the pot over to strain it and I was pouring it out, I noticed that the water was colored a little bit. It was a bit darker from the noodle. So, some of that color comes out. And I just wanted to try some of the noodle without any of the flavoring packet in it. So there's a couple of strands, nice and flimsy, breaks apart a little, somewhat easily, but it's got a little bit of a strength to it. It's not completely fragile. Fragile. Let's go ahead and give that a shot. So, got a hint of a sweetness to it, but otherwise, it just kind of tastes like a pasta. Like it doesn't even taste like black bean at all, which is fine, I guess. A little chewy, maybe a hint grainy. No, they're not very different than some noodles I've had before. But let's get to the real nitty gritty here. Sometimes when you're making a dry ramen, when you drain out the water, you should probably save a couple of tablespoons of that water in there so that mixes with the packet really well. I mean, you usually only have to do that if the dry ramen comes with a powdery flavor packet. This one was, of course, oily, as you saw. But I saw after I drained it that it was recommended to leave about 2 to 3 tablespoons of water in there. I really didn't, but I think it got in there pretty good. I just had to stir it extra to make sure I have this like fairly even distribution of the oil with there. Let's just kind of get a pull on here. So it's a very dense noodle. I mean, like it all clumps together. It's not very starchy at all. Just trying to separate some here. Something that's definitely different from your standard ramen noodles is that instead of being like bouncy, it's more clingy than bouncy. And it clings together more like the way maybe a seaweed would than like a ramen noodle. And these aren't complaints, it's just observations. The aroma, which I'm assuming is mostly the sauce packet's pretty good. Got a umami aroma to it. And I don't know, there seems to be a lot of separation of the sauce in the noodle, which that's not a bad thing. You can go ahead and give it the old taste test, right? This is really what you want to know. I like how high the noodle is. This is really good. Let's go ahead and take some of this. Okay, so off the bat, flavor-wise, it's not bad at all. The chew, when you have a bunch of noodles together like this, it's definitely different in traditional ramen. I mean, not even a little different, like a lot of different. It seems a little denser when you bite into it. I feel more like I'm biting into like a tender plant leaves as opposed to traditional ramen noodle feels. Like even the tofu noodles was a little closer to what that traditional ramen texture was like than this. Not to say it's a bad thing, but it's definitely different. Now, the sauce itself, yes, it's a chili flavor. It's not super hot by any means. It's a decent mild. It does have a little bit of that tingly that they were promising in the title of it, so that's cool. Get a little more. Some of the things I don't care for is, I don't know if it's the oil or the noodle or the way the flavors blend, but I can swear that it tastes a little bit like licorice, which I don't mind a little licorice, but I'm not so sure how I feel about that in my ramen, especially if it's not a dessert ramen, which is not supposed to be. The other thing too is, chewing it, it's not necessarily fun. Not fun like the way a ramen noodle is. The fact that it's a hint gritty is not, to me, it's not a very flattering trait. I like that the sauce definitely has a distinct umami flavor to it. And I like the fact that it has like a hint of a burn. I almost feel like while it's edible and it's good, it's not very exciting. I don't know, it doesn't feel very exciting to me. That's just, honestly, the most exciting thing about this so far is the tingling that I have in my mouth from the sauce. I enjoy that, but the flavor is not great. It's good. The tingling is interesting. The noodle, it's just really, the experience is kind of odd. I suppose if gluten was an issue for me, this might be a pretty good way to go about it, just to kind of, scratch that itch to get some ramen, but it's, I don't know. As somebody who can eat ramen, I'm not sure I'll ever buy this again, except maybe to try a different flavor, but even then, I'll take it with a level of skepticism because it's decent. It might be good to have this maybe with like if you have some ramen bay or similar ramen toppings to add to this. Might be a little bit better. If you have like a protein meat that you want to add to this, it'd probably be better. But at the same token, adding those things to a different ramen would be even better yet. So I'm just being transparent with you here. Yeah. The other thing about the chew on this is it almost feels like it's going to stay together and take a while to break down, like chewing gum. But the moment you think that, then it starts to separate. So that's very odd too. I guess that's kind of the nature of making it out of black bean. I guess that's the kind of thing that's going to happen. And something I can give it is that it is a little more filling than I expected it to be, even at its expanded size. And according to the box, it's supposed to keep you full kind of longer and provide you with a good amount of energy that's supposed to last for a while. If that's true, that's cool. And if I was on some kind of special, like high protein, low carb diet where I was working out and I really needed like that kind of sustainability and the energy and my focus was just on getting those macronutrients in, this is not a bad way to go. It's certainly an interesting way to go. It's not the cheapest route to go by any means, but I guess what it boils down to is I can eat it. I can enjoy it enough. Like, it's something, but it's not like I'm going to go running to my buddy and say, hey, you got to try this Kaleidoscope Black Bean ramen. It's amazing. I wouldn't say that. I don't like to lie to my friends. So that's my review. Kaleidoscope Black Bean Noodle Ramen. I picked up the Tingly Chili flavor. Pretty easy to make once you figure out what you're dealing with and how you're supposed to make it. Definitely an interesting and very different texture and chew to the noodle compared to what you're used to from ramen, even alternative noodles. Seemingly filling. Flavor is decent. The heat is mild and tingly and okay flavor. If I want to add to one more little criticism to it is, okay, this is a healthier pasta for you. They recommend you use their seasoning packet. And I also recommend that if you're going to have this, to have it with their seasoning packet. However, in the grand scheme of health, This is barely under 1,000 grams of sodium for this serving that I had. And it's while I've definitely seen way worse than ramen, and most ramens are worse than that, it's still pretty far up there. That's most of your sodium for the day. So in the grand scheme of things, I don't know how much I'm really gaining compared to what I'm paying and what I'm tasting. How about you? Have you tried any of the Kaleidoscope products? My understanding is that in addition to black beans, they also have it made out of soybean, edamame, and that there's different flavors. And they do have a couple of cup noodle style offerings too that they refer to as super ramen, I guess based on what it's made from, their superfoods. Which of those have you tried? Which ones are your favorite? Drop that into the comments below. And while you're down there, please let me know if there's another healthier or alternate ramen that you're curious about or you've tried and think is great and you'd like me to review. Let me know, because this is also your channel. Thanks so much for watching Star Quality Kitchen. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and stalk. Laters. I mean, it is all right, but the chew's weird. And getting that grade every so often definitely hurts it in my score. Maybe 2.5 out of 5. And you like just a touch of a tilt up, just a little. There we go. Try it like that. Oh, so much better. Yes. Yes. All right. Just trying to think about what the hell I want to say.